What's up, everybody? It's your boy Melvin here for another review, and today I'm reviewing the 2007 movie Trick or Treat, released in 2007. It's an American Anthology horror comedy written and directed by Michael Dougherty and produced by Brian Singer. And this was actually a pet project of his since he was in college. Literally, he did an animated short featuring this little guy, Sam. If we all know, you know what I'm talking about. And this movie became quite a well, it didn't work out in the box office, but became a cult classic. And including there was a comic book that came out, but I'm going way ahead of myself. So, did you subscribe? Did you hit the bell? If so, did you follow the rules of Halloween? If so, you're safe from Sam's wrath. And let's begin. We're open to the opening title, and yeah. Which is quite confusing, literally. The film opens on Halloween night in the fictional town of Warren Valley, Ohio. The plot follows a Norliner narrative, of course, including the crossing paths of the film, which features the center of the character named Sam, a strange trick-or-treater in a burlap pajama costume who appears to enforce the rules of Halloween. Yeah, there's one little guy you don't want to know. If you can get, oh hell no. Wait until the end, you'll find out what he really is. In our first segment, we have some couple, Emma and her Halloween-loving husband Henry return home after celebrating the night. Emma, who hates Halloween, blows out the jack-o'-lantern before midnight against Henry's superstitious advice, which Henry goes back in the bedroom, watching some good old Whoopi. While Emma is outside taking down the decorations, which, at first, she spots somebody in the distance, which, yeah, got scared until it's just a guy in the costume. Yeah. When she throws the sheets in looks like a box, something pops out, attacks her, and slits her throat. While Henry is still asleep. Damn, what a heavy sleeper, ain't you? And besides, I wouldn't sleep lightly like that. A strange thing drags her body. A couple hours later, Henry wakes up, check what's going on, and yeah. He goes her moved to body, and we're back to the title card with how Trick or Treat, which the intro they look like a bunch of comics, which did became a comic and actually owned the 10th anniversary collection, which contains the first film and supposedly the second sequel, which never happened. There we open our second story. Features Charlie, an overweight bully who started knocking down pumpkins, and also when he walks up to the home, he knows the bull says take one piece, which of course this fat kid just wants to be selfish and try to take the whole bowl until he was caught by his school principal, Stephen Wilkins, seemingly taking the offense of the stride. Wilkins offers Charlie a candy bar with lecturing Charlie about the importance of respecting the tradition and rules of Halloween. And also, the one rule what Charlie is eating until he starts to feel well, until Mr. Principal Wilkins mentions the one rule, most importantly, always check your candy. And then Charlie throws up chocolate and blood and drops dead right there. Right there. Which, well, turns out Principal Wilkins actually laced the candy with cyanide, and literally, he actually poisoned it with cyanide, and you will see more. When he tries to pull the body, we get to meet the neighbor, Mr. Creed, who's spying. Weird. Which, yeah, he knows Mr. Wilkins is doing something back there until he knows the smell. Which, he asks if he needs some help. Nope, he's good. Oh boy. Which, let's see. Had the murder. He went back until he hears some trick-or-treaters. He gets one more candy, including Sam, which he appears. He gives him candy as well. We try to hide the body with another body of a victim. Wow. Which he gets to keep being interrupted by his young son Billy. And, of course, his elderly neighbor, Mr. Krieg. Along with dog, Spot. Yeah, victim turned. Turns out the other victim turns to be alive and struggles in the sack, forcing Wilkins to beat him to death, and also with a shovel before anyone else discerns the noise. Yeah. What the hell? Oops. Looks like we have a missing light here. Let me fix that. No. Shit. There we go. Whee! Back on the same. He went back inside out because his son wants to carve a jack-o'-lantern. He went back inside. And also got a massive heart. We get to see his canvas reset. We got cyanide laced candy, apples with razor blades. As he's trying to wash his hands, his son scares him with a mask. Keep asking, can we cover pumpkin? They go downstairs into the basement. As the son gleefully happy, he pulls out a knife, stabs it, and guess what? It's not actually a pumpkin they're carving. It's Charlie's head. And the Billy's like, don't forget to help me with the eyes. Oh my god. That is disturbing. And I thought Wednesday was more disturbing. Never mind. And now we meet our next story. The teenager, because remember, this is connected to one thing in common. We are our trick-or-treater teenagers, Mary, Chip, Strider, and Sarah, collect jack-o'-lanterns when they meet Rhonda, which I think Sarah calls her Rhonda the retarded. Yeah. That's what they call her. I think she has autism, and when they arrived at her house, they found a bunch of pumpkins that she carved, which, yeah. Before they arrive at her house, they already stopped at Wilkins to ask for the pumpkins, which he asked them if they were smashers. They said no. Then they meet another woman who's having a Halloween party, which looks like more like an orgy. Now we're back to all of them heading towards the quarry, which leads to a story which Macy... Sorry, it's Macy who's the leader, not Sarah. Keep forgetting that. As I was saying, Macy begins telling the story of the Halloween School Bus Massacre, which is a being of urban legend. In the legend, 8 children with disabilities were killed by a school bus driver on Halloween, which I'm going to tell you the story. It was during a day the driver was driving the routine, which is you know, kids with disabilities for like autism, like that. But since the parents consider them more like a burden and out of embarrassment, they managed to pay the driver to get rid of them. So The driver drives them to where the quarry is, which one of the kids, dressed as a vampire, knows the route because he remembers the route home until he knows the route changed. The bus changed. He said, wrong way, wrong way. And we pass by Sam with a crow on a stick. Yeah. I have no idea. I think he's making some chicken. Then as he runs around the quarry, breaks through the gate, and stops there, gets up with a bucket full of candy, which he used the money from the parents. And these kids are chained up. Yeah, they're chained up. The master arrives, he checks each chain until the vampire kid starts to break free from his restraints, manages to get through the front of into the seat, the driver's seat. The driver trying to get there, but he was stopped. He was tripped over by one of the kid in a bunny suit. Before he can do it, the kid accidentally pulls the throttle in forward, which sending them to the quarry, the flood quarry down below, and they all drowned. And we got a glimpse of the driver survived the crash, but yeah, one by one, the teenagers went down into the quarry with the pumpkins as a tribute of each of the kids who died. Marking, I think there were 8. Yeah, 8 kids, 8 pumpkins, 8 jack-o'-lanterns. The man, as it, Rhonda and Chip managed to arrive down there. They encountered the wrecked bus, which, yeah, strangely, was the wrecked bus went nose down? And when we see the wreck, it's facing nose up. That's just weird. Then they hear strange noises, which the witness runs by herself, and that's when he went as zombies. See, when she looked, she saw Chip being eaten until she slipped and hit her head and knocked out. And turns out, it was a fucked up prank by Macy. Which even Stride, let's see, Strider agreed it was too extreme and helped her up and about to leave. Before that, Macy and Sarah knocked the pumpkins to the water until they hear strange laughter, which turns out to be the actual kids in zombie form. Oh boy. Okay, you gotta know this is creepy. You got disability kids, they're about to murder y'all. Period. And this ain't gonna be good. Oh, hell no. They all ran, but the first person they murder was Sarah because she was in chains. They pulled the chains. Oh boy, she snacked time for them. They run until they managed to arrive in the elevator, where they found Rhonda with pumpkins, and they tried to beg her to let them in. As Rhonda tried, nope. She pressed the up button, which leaving them to their demise. As Rhonda leaves the elevator, you can hear the remaining teenagers torn limb from limb by the disability kids. Yeah, you actually hear them being ripped to pieces. Oh, damn. That was pretty dope. But yeah. After that, she passed by Sam again, this time sitting on top of a barrel, nodding at her, and they both went in their separate ways, and yeah. The next one's called Surprise Party, which we meet a 22-year-old self-conscious woman named Lurie. It was her sister and her friends, and for Halloween, she winds up being Red Riding Hood. That, in her opinion, makes her look like she's 5. In comparison to her friends' revealing outfits, yeah. Because she's the one in a Red Riding outfit, while the rest are showing cleavage and booty. And the funny part is, we have a peeping Tom kid looking at them. What's this kid? It's not his. Okay, the fun fact, this kid played 2 roles. He played the peeping Tom and also Sam. Literally. Which is pretty cool. We get to meet others until that's when we get a side clip of 2 couples making out until we realize this girl has been bitten by a vampire. and bleeds to death. Right in the middle of in the alley. Nobody even knows. They think it was just some prank. Funny part, she bumped into Henry and Emma, which Emma thinks is a prank. Wow. A Halloween party pooper, ain't she? Background thing. They walk in the woods where the party is. Lori by herself until she encountered the same vampire who tried to bite her. She defeats the assailant, which everybody's partying. They have their own dates. There's even a man baby. Oh crap. When Lori she brings the assailant, it turns out to be Principal Wilkins. Oh my. But before that, who turns out to be a serial killer. No shit. That's when the party really begins. Lori tells him, "Don't worry, this is my first time. We thought she'd go get Luther, Virginia. Oh no. They strip alright, but not with clothes. They just, not just clothes, but skin. Literally. What you're seeing, they're actually werewolves, literally. As in her first time. Well, Mr. Wilkins, guess what? You're not just her first time. She's gonna eat ya. And she does. In the most bloodiest fashion of all. They all eat their dates. And she says the phrase, "My, my, what big eyes you have," before chowing down his neck. And howling at the moon. And guess who's there? Guess who's there as well? Sam. Sit on a log next to a wolf. Damn. And finally, we arrive at the final story named Sam, the title role. Now we're going to tell you who he actually is. We cut to Mr. Krieg, the grumpy neighbor, which you'll find out what's his secret. Who hates Halloween, littering, scaring the trick-or-treaters with his dog, even until he encounters a phenomenon. His house getting eggs, and then when you open again, his house full of jack-o'-lanterns, which he knew somebody was walking in, and his dog was missing. He went back into his bedroom, and guess what he finds? A mysterious jack-o'-lantern bursts into flames, and his room scrolled the words, "Trick or treat, smell my feet, give me something good to eat." As he tried to grab a shotgun, he gets stabbed in the leg, in the knees, in the hilt. And guess who crawls out? Sam. Pulls out a candy bar, and guess what's in it? A razor blade knife. Oh boy. This is going to be extreme. Kree trying to shoot him, which shoots the pumpkin. As he's trying to leave, he slips and falls into a bunch of glass razor blades on the floor. Damn. That's gotta hurt. As he tries to fight, he tries to get some help from the neighbor, which is Wilkins, which he thinks is some bullshit prank. Yeah, it didn't work. As Sam jumps on him, bites him, and guess what? Mr. Krieg grabs his mask, rips it out. When he looks, guess what he saw? A pumpkin head demon. Literally. And oh boy, that scared the shit out of him. And the little bastard keeps stabbing him on the leg. Until Wilkins manages to grab the shotgun and shoots him in the head. Literally. To make sure he's dead, he shot his hand as well. His stomach. Which are pumpkin innards. No blood. Pumpkin innards. Like pumpkin seeds. That. Until he's trying to relax. Everything's okay. Nope. Sam's alive. His hands start to move and reattach to his arm. He manages to grab his sack, breaks Mr. Krieg's hand. Before that, he bites a lollipop, making it into a knife. Before that, as Krieg screams, Sam stabs, but not at him, but the candy, and accepts that as payment and leaves. And we cut to a fireplace where he's burning photos, and it turns out he's the bus driver from the crash that the 8 kids were killed in. Then we have a conclusion where he's heavily bandaged. When the trick-or-treater knows him, he follows a mummy. As Mr. Krieg observes the street, he sees everybody. First, we see Billy in the porch wearing his father's clothes, bloody clothes, handing out trick-or-treat candy. Then we see Rhonda crossing the street, casually pulling her wagon full of jack-o'-lanterns along by herself. Then we meet the girls. Where am I? Oh, yeah. Where's the train station? Oh, yeah. Then we meet the girls having fun after their buffet. And finally, Creek sees Sam until they both see Emma and Henry. Emma being a total bitch. And Sam looking at his buying out lollipop and say, I'll use it on this bitch. And goes after her. Then Mr. Creek closes the door. He hears the doorbell ring as he walks out. And guess who's there? The 8 kids from the crash. Right there. And Mr. Creek, shocked with fear, and I think the vampire said trick or treat. And we got to a flash scene we see in the comic form. Mr. Creek torn into pieces by the zombie kids. And that was Trick or Treat. Released in 2007. And this was a good film. It's a pity that it wasn't received like as well. This came out in 2007. I think I was in the 5th grade when this came out. Damn. But yeah. Let me know what you think of this movie. And also, there was supposed to be a sequel for for Trick or Treat, which never happened because, I don't know, studio problems. This was released by Warner Brothers, so yeah. At the time. But luckily, for the 10th anniversary, they released the Trick or Treat Sam's 10th Anniversary Collection, which contains the first film. If you haven't seen the documentary of Trick or Treat, it contains those art illustrations as well of the comics, and also the sequel one called Trick or Treat. Let me see. I have the comic here. Let me just read it. Which is actually pretty cool. It's worth the buy. Called Trick or Treat: Days of the Dead. Let's continue 4 stories as well. And I kind of wish it made into a film. It was pretty good because it's more like working on the origins of Halloween, of each tradition. But yeah, let me know what you guys think of Trick or Treat. Did you like the movie when you first saw it? If you've seen it on, I don't know, if you own the movie, what was your favorite scene? What was your what was your favorite scene? Yeah, which one? There's too many kills. For me, it was the School Bus Massacre, because you got an urban legend which kids try to make fun of, and they pay the price with their own lives. Even messing with a person who was mentally challenged, which bad idea. Making fun of mentally challenged kids, and you got the zombie mentally challenged kids murdering y'all and tearing you up to pieces. So yeah, that to me is a good payback. And for me, Sam has to be a unique one, because you don't even, we ever see him, he's like, oh, must be some kid, until you realize, oh no, he ain't no kid, he's a demon pumpkin head. But yeah, let me know what you think of the movie. Did you like it? Did you seen it? What was your favorite part? And let me know in the comments down below. Until then, see you next time. Remember to subscribe, hit the bell, like this video, and I'll see you next time. See ya. Oh yeah. Boo.